Hi, RD Berry here. Welcome to episode 4 in my basic tutorial of They Are Billions. And this time I wanted to go over campaign progress and what the campaign, all the features of the campaign map, or at least the most important features. And I'll cover some of the details in later episodes, but I just want to go over the basics of this time. This is the campaign map about mid-game. You start out over here in the Imperial City, and as soon as you start the campaign, you get to do this mission here, the Hidden Valley. And as you might expect, is when you finish one mission that allows you to connect to the other nodes on this kind of network here. It's not a tree because there are loops in here, but there's another loop there. But it is a network, so and you can't go to the next mission until you complete the current one. And right now I am I'm about to do this one here. The ones that have been done are kind of grayed out a little bit. This one is the current one. As you can see, I did make an unsuccessful attempt on that one. I'll talk about that in a bit. So there's three types of missions here, and there are the tactical missions. And you can tell those because they have a building icon. The icons are all different, but they're all in the form of a single building. And those are the missions that are somewhat like a dungeon crawls, and those were where your hero would play a role. These other missions where it's more like a village with a circular wall around it, that is the survival mission. That's more like where it's a castle builder and you're building a colony and then setting up defenses for it. And the Cape Storm is where we started out the first episode in. And then there's a third type of mission called attack missions, and those you can tell because they have these like floating infected heads in them, or to mark them. And one difference between these and the other ones is once they are done, they disappear from the map and you can't repeat them. All the other missions you can be repeated, but the results won't count. That's just for practice or something. So I cannot, these that are actually gray here, I can't get to because I need to complete these attack missions. And with attack missions, basically what happens is you get a whole bunch of points for to build defenses and to place soldiers, and then basically the swarm comes and then you try to survive that. So it's sort of a very shortened version of the survival missions. There's no colony building. You just sort of set up defenses, and it only takes like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something to do one of these, while these survival missions can take hours to do. So, right, and one thing I wanted to mention is I did most of these without any losses, but I did lose this one. There's just some things that are just hard to predict, and I kind of made a simplifying assumption that wasn't valid. So that that's what happened there. When it has a defeats count there, so I need to try again, but the defeat count will still be there, and what that affects is down here called victory points. There's two other types of points here. Research points up here, empire points down here, and I'll talk about those in later episodes. Victory points, even though you lose victory points when you lose a mission, that doesn't really matter. The victory points don't actually count toward mission progress. So I have lost a bit in my final score, but it doesn't really matter in terms of the mission progress. So there's nothing to worry about really there, unless you're doing a YouTube video and want to show somebody what your final score is. There's no need to really worry about victory points at all. I guess there's some achievements related to them, but we're not worrying about achievements here. So that's the overall plan. You start over here, you gradually work your way east, conquering or creating mission or colonies on the way. One thing you may notice about these tactical missions is they don't have any. They're basically dead ends. You do them, and that's it. You get points, but that's it. And I think that's about everything I wanted to talk about on that. So yeah, work your way east. Eventually, you reach the ocean, and you win the game, I guess. Anything else I wanted to go over? This on the screen here. This is the game menu. You can it's basically a pause menu. In this menu, you can save a backup of your playthrough. If you want to save your progress through the playthrough, at some point you can do that. You cannot save your progress in the middle of a mission, though. You can only do that on this main map. So if you lose a mission, you have to start the whole thing over from scratch, which is usually not a bad idea, because when you lose, it's sometimes an indicator that your fundamentals were wrong somehow. Campaign stats. My total score, that's the victory points down here. Number of completed missions, how many colonies I've built, that kind of thing. How many soldiers of various types I've built. And yeah, I don't know why it says total score twice there. That's weird. Anyway, and the number of infected I've eliminated. Right now I'm playing on easy difficulty. Never said I was good enough to play some of these harder difficulties, but this is just a beginning tutorial. So there is easy, accessible, challenging, and they get harder from there. This is a difficult game, so to me, easy is more like normal difficulty. Accessible is hard. Challenge is very hard, etc., etc. Read these about 2 levels higher than they actually say. If you've played a lot of if you've played this type of game before and had a lot of experience, then this is probably about accurate. But for if you've never played a similar game or you don't have a lot of experience playing similar games, then read these at least one harder than they actually say. I'm not going to change that. This is my percent completion, so I've done about a little bit more than half of the missions. Empire points I'm going to go over later. Victory points and some of these other things I'll go over in other episodes. So yeah, I think that's about it for this screen. Next time I will go over what happens specifically in a survival mission, which is which are the circular icons here. That's the first one you're going to start out with. That's Hidden Valley. I hope you'll join me for that. Until then, bye.